Hi everybody, this is Carrie Freeman from My Left Ear, if there's anybody new coming in here. It is the day after the election, which is November 6th. And, no lie, I'm in shell shock, like almost everybody that cares about democracy. I just have some thoughts here. And of course, I'm not going to make predictions or do runes today. Maybe not even again, I don't know. So I just jotted down a couple of things to share. You've all come this far with me, and I felt like, no, Carrie, you don't want to wait until tomorrow. You just want to make contact with everybody. I got about 2 hours sleep last night. And when I woke up a little bit later in the evening, I had texts. One text said, I'm getting physically ill. The other text said, have you seen the polls? And so, I turned on the computer and everything, and I saw what was happening. Now, interestingly, Petey was near me, but at some point, he was just physically all over me, like in my lap, hugging me. Almost couldn't peel him off. And I believe, felt my anxiety. It was really something. So he stayed close to me all night. I never went to bed. I brought out a pillow and a blanket, and I stayed on my sofa all night because there's something about leaning up against the back of a soft sofa that feels comforting. And so I just stayed out of my bedroom last night. Turned on My Left Ear earlier, and I did receive some very snarky messages denouncing myself and tarot readers and all like that. And I thought, I can't be the only one. But I have lost some subscribers today. Elizabeth Cronice McLaughlin, who I mention in a few minutes, also got very snarky messages. And I think she was going to turn off her responses. So I'm not the only one. But it hurts. And so after I made the last video, which was positive, I then watched Marianne from Revealing Light. I find her to be so conscious and credible and really gifted. So I just kind of wanted to see, what she had to say. And she was cautiously optimistic. And what struck me that I had never, I don't watch anybody on a regular basis because I have to just be with my own intuition. But I had never heard her suggest, she did this reading. It was also very positive. And then she said, I can be wrong. And of course, I can be wrong, Carrie, but I had never seen her, in that reflective place of, I hope I'm right. She didn't say, I hope I'm right. So I kind of wished, I wished I had said that. I could be wrong, but I've said it in the past. We can all be wrong. We all have been wrong. So she wrote a little note, and I thought I'd read it to you. I don't know if she got online today, because frankly, with 2 hours sleep, I'm not quite myself. Let me put it that way. She wrote, and this is from Marianne at Revealing Light, Tarot, Astrology, and Spirituality. Okay. She wrote, barring a miracle, it seems Pennsylvania has been called for Trump. It is now time to switch off and wait for all votes to be counted. Looking back, I would give you the same reading again if I got those same cards, and that would be me too. We will dissect this later depending on the final result, and we will do this together. I may have to switch comments off my election reading as I am being swamped by MAGA trolls and insults, and I have no more time or patience for them. Please stay safe, everyone. We cannot understand why the universe would deliver such a result. Time will illuminate beyond our devastation right now. Then I did include a video of Elizabeth Cronice Laughlin, and I'm just like, what is her YouTube channel? I didn't write it down. You will forgive me for that. You probably all know her. Resistance Live, I think that's it. Resistance Live. And you know, if you don't know, she's an attorney. She's kind of a political expert. I mean, incredibly smart woman, incredibly insightful woman, and knows a lot about human behavior and narcissism. So I put her video on my community page, and I was struck because she's a very strong woman, outspoken woman. But honestly, today I felt she was just holding back tears when she was talking, and I felt for her. And I'm gonna even look at her video again because I haven't been in my right mind. Some things have struck me that I think Trump was giving us hints, because he's cunning and he's evil, but he's really not that smart. This is my opinion. So he's always dropping little hints, like he's ahead of the game and he knows what's going on. And so, do you remember when he said, he was outside at a rally and he said, "I don't need your vote. I'm not worried about votes." And I think he said something like, "I don't even need you." It was something like that. And then he last week dropped this thing about that he and little Speaker Johnson have a secret, and everybody was left, what's the secret? What are they going to cut? This winning might be part of that secret. We don't know. Elmer Fudd, Elon Musk, they figure that he had about 7 meetings with Putin recently, like in the last few months. And then Trump allegedly had 3 to 4 conversations with Putin. He wouldn't answer the question, have you spoken? But he has, we know this. And he had Netanyahu come to Mar-a-Lago, and he had this big, long conference table meeting, probably making plans with him, probably, I don't know this. And Pam Keith, an attorney who always drops really intelligent information, messages, comments on Twitter. She's an attorney, if I didn't say that. She wrote 20 or so million votes are unaccounted for. Turnout and vote counts are not aligning. Something is very, and she wrote it in all caps, very wrong. And something is wrong. I was talking about to a close friend this morning about intuition, because she I think she's very intuitive, but she doesn't do any of this. She's very private, very low key. And I said, when we have like an intuition, or you meet someone and you just like kind of tighten up or recoil around them, and the wisdom is trust it. If you think something's wrong, there's probably something wrong. If you think someone is not trustworthy, they're probably not trustworthy. And so we were both talking about how in our guts, this is not ringing true. This is just not ringing true, that this is the correct account. And someone, not to me directly, even suggested that the way it's almost as they went in and they reversed it. So he got the count that was meant for Kamala, if you understand what I'm saying. I don't know how that would happen. I think a lot of cyber stuff is involved here. But, you know, I had done all these videos where I kept stacking up. This is why it wasn't just the runes. It was, these are the actual evidence that Kamala's going to win. And so I kept adding to it because there kept being good evidence on her, like more endorsements, who was coming out, the size of her crowds, the passion of her crowds, the fantastic Democratic convention, her performance at the debate, her unending energy and positivity, and her inclusiveness. It just all came together as logical. Like, of course they've got to be crazy. And, you know, even just last week, in his dementia-ridden state, which he's in and out of, which is normal for dementia, like, I guess he made an acceptance speech. I can't watch or listen to him, but he seemed really calm. And my friend this morning said he seemed like he knew it was coming, like he knew. He hadn't been working very hard at the rallies. He was late for most of the rallies. These little clues, he knew. His people walking out, his tiny numbers, him like last week, he did like fellatio on a microphone, and that might make some people guilty, but that's really sick. And blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I think more's going to come out. Now, I'm in such a fog today. I probably shouldn't even go out and drive. But you see, I put a little bit of makeup on because I couldn't let you see me. I was like white as a sheet earlier and so drained. So I put some mascara on. Now I just forgot what I was going to say. That wouldn't surprise you, would it? Okay, it'll come back. And it can't be that important because I'm just kind of rambling right now with my notes. I was walking through my apartment earlier, and what flashed at me was Michael Cohen. And will Trump, you know, all his threats. I'm like, oh no. Is he going to go after Michael Cohen? Is he going to throw him, incarcerate Michael Cohen? I'm really worried for Michael Cohen. But I'm also worried for Liz Cheney, General Milley, General Kelly, all the GOP people that came over to align with Kamala. So we have to keep an eye out for this threat of incarcerating innocent people. And I can't even imagine the conversations that Michael Cohen is having with his wife right now. He must be really sincerely terrified, as are others. I just threw out a few names. You know, Trump has a list, you know. What can I say? Here are some of my thoughts. So before this bad news came, and this was weeks ago, I started to think privately, never brought it up on a video. Carrie, what will you do if Trump actually wins? What are you going to do? What are you going to do with this YouTube channel? This has all been about, for the most part, politics, and then I throw in some other things at the same time. And I haven't made any decisions. I shouldn't make any decisions on 2 hours sleep. I may need a couple of days, but I'm thinking that I might stop political commentary because it means, excuse me, I need some water. It means that I'd have to really watch a lot of Trump. I'd have to read a lot of Trump, and I'd have to pay attention to all the pundits. And I'm not sure that's good for my mental health, to be honest with you. So that's a thought that, well, without giving up my left ear, the channel, what else can I do? So I'm thinking about that. What could I contribute to you? I think there's some people that would be disappointed if I shut down my left ear. Some, in light of other people like Elizabeth Cronice McLaughlin and Marianne and even Linda G. I have a very small audience. It's like moving in on 9,000, but I lost about 6 subscribers. So that's on my mind. What do I do now? I gave it everything I had in light of what I had. And I'm shook up. I shook up. And then on an even more personal note, this has been a very, very rough year for me. I don't get online and complain. I don't whine about my numbers or anything. Some people do, but I don't. But I need to go back and talk about when I fell down on March 20th and I got so incredibly injured that it went to surgery. And a lot of you saw my x-rays where you see these big metal screws in my shoulder and my arm, and it sort of tells you what I went through, and was completely unable to function for a good 3 months. And that's why I had my friend Chris here, who did everything. In fact, that's who I was on the phone with this morning. And when you're fully functional, and then all of a sudden overnight you're completely disabled and you can't even write your signature, it eats away at one's confidence. Because I was very isolated. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do anything except go to physical therapy and try to heal. So I'm coming off. I just finished physical therapy a week ago. I'm done. And really the only reason I'm done is because that company dropped my insurance. Now, I had gotten a lot out of the physical therapy, but I probably would have continued if my insurance hadn't been dropped. But that's what happened, and more fate. And the surgeon said, you're healed. And I think I told you I'll never be 100%. So when one gets ill or has an accident and is all of a sudden disabled, it chips away at one's confidence, which it did with me. And this event of Trump winning, it's like insult on top of injury in a way, just like, oh my God, what am I doing? Now, a lot of you write me and tell me, you really bring me a lot of calmness. And that's such a compliment. I can't tell you, that's such a compliment. And thank you for letting me know that. So I'm not going to stay today. I just wanted to share some thoughts. Give me about 2 to 3 days, and I'll be back again, and I'll share these thoughts with you. And I'm open to any feedback that you have. So this has been stunning. As I process, I'll write little notes or I'll forget them. And my agenda today, which I recommend for everybody, is practice self-care. Practice soothing yourself. Being proud of your belief system. And understanding that there's millions that are devastated today, just heartbroken. So we're not alone. I am dreading Kamala Harris's speech in a few hours. I'm gonna get out the Kleenex. I really found myself absolutely loving Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Now this is getting me choked up. And they worked so hard. I don't know that I've ever seen two people work as hard as they have. Just no stone unturned. They probably got 3 or 4 hours sleep. They were remarkable. They are remarkable. And there's just a big loss in our country. So I gave you some stuff to think about. I'll check my messages later, see if anybody wrote me, weighed in. And my heart is with you. And my heart is with everybody that's heartbroken today. And something came up as I'm phasing out of our talk right now. Thanks for hanging in with me. You can see my brain's not sharp today. I thought about Stoicism and my love for the term amor fati. AMORFATI. I did a Patreon about amor fati, and it means love of fate. And that's a hard one today. But that's what the Latins really recommend. No matter what happens, embrace it as fate. And you know, the night I fell and crushed my right side, amor fati came up in my consciousness. Is that, even before I hit the hospital. Really weird. So I'm gonna be practicing, doing my best with amor fati. I'm gonna hug Petey. He's gonna get some extra treats. I'm gonna drink water. I'm gonna drink a little Coca-Cola. I'm gonna eat some good food. And just kind of hug my inner child. You know, really hug my inner child. And there is a quote here. I don't have the person who came up with this quote. It was already on my page, so I'm just sharing it with you. If your enemy keeps making mistakes, don't interrupt them. I think it's kind of appropriate. So anyway, thank you for your love, and I'm sending it back to you, and I'll see you in a couple of days, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.